Welcome to lesson 15 of the Health and Wellness for Older Adults course, and this is our last lesson. How does it feel? It feels like all this weight is being lifted. We are almost done, and this is going to be probably the shortest lesson of all time. Let's get started. So we're going to look at dying and death in older adults. So what is death? Death is the moment when one's heart stops beating. If that is the case, what about when people are in a coma or when they're in a vegetative state? Does that mean that they're still alive? So this is a question that, a lot of people ask, and, people who are in the medical field and whatnot. This is, at what point is an individual dead? Okay, so this is a really important question to define. So how do we handle people who are in a vegetative state or who are in a coma, people who have been in a coma for years and years? How do we handle that, and how do we classify that? Okay, so who should decide on death? Is it the body that decides when an individual is dead? Okay. Is it the disease? Should it be the family members? Should it be the healthcare professionals, to just call it? Okay, or technology, should that be a determining factor? What about what happens, after, or what happens, or just who determines how the process is going to be handled for that one individual? Do we use advanced directives? Should it be required for everyone to have an advanced directive? So what's an advanced directive? Well, the definition of an advanced directive is that it is a legal document that enables individuals to convey their desires, how they want about prolonging illnesses. Okay, so let's say if they have a disease and whatnot, and it's a life-threatening disease, how long do you want to prolong this illness? How long do you want to stay in it? Or if you're on life support or anything like that, how long do you want to be? How long do you want to prolong your life, especially if you're not capable of making your own decisions? If you're not cognitively aware and able to really clearly think about the situation and make proper decisions for yourself, who's going to make that decision for you? Or are you going to have an advanced directive that has a legal document that tells exactly how you want it to be handled while you're in your good state of mind, right? So that when, if something like this should happen, how is it going to be handled for you? So what, a question that people should be thinking about is, when should this be completed, and, why? Okay, so then let's look at assisted suicide. So the definition of this would be when a physician helps a seriously ill individual to comfortably end their own life using medication. Okay, so some different types of assisted suicide would be euthanasia, passive euthanasia, and then active euthanasia. So euthanasia, this is when a patient is put to death painlessly. Okay, for example, maybe some people are suffering from a very incurable illness or incurable condition. They know that they are going to, this disease is going to end their life. However, maybe they don't want it to get to the point where they know they're going to suffer. Okay, they know they're going to suffer too harshly. Or if they're already suffering and they just want to end the suffering. Okay, so passive euthanasia would be withholding that treatment, okay, that would allow death to occur naturally. Okay, so withholding treatment Like, you know that you're going to pass with, or you know that your condition, your incurable condition is going to, kill you. It's going to end your life. And what is holding you, okay, what is keeping you here is the medication, the treatments that you're taking. So passive euthanasia would be you ordering to your healthcare practitioners to withhold that treatment, that medication, or whatever's keeping you alive. Don't give it to me anymore, and let me just die naturally, like that. Then there's active euthanasia. So this is when the practitioner deliberately gives you medication to end your life. This is when you say, okay, go ahead and allow me to overdose on whatever medication, whatever pain medication or anything like that, so that it will end my life. Okay, so that's the difference. There's active and passive, right? Okay, so attitudes towards dying and death. Death is universal. Everyone lives, everyone dies. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Death can be mystifying because we don't really understand it, and we probably might never really understand it. We don't know. This is like diving into the unknown, okay? We don't know what happens after death. We don't even know what the individual really experiences as they're like transitioning, into death. So the results so this, can result into anxiety for everybody. Okay, a lot of us fear death. No one wants to plan death. No one wants to really talk about death, even young people or old people. This is very universal, and we all kind of experience this anxiety. Okay. So there are options on where to die. Most people, 20% of people, 20% of people die at home, but most people, elderly, older adult people who have any kind of illness and whatnot, they're going to die in a hospital. So 60% will pass away in a hospital, 20% will pass away at home, and then 20% also will pass away like in a nursing home, probably under the care of hospice. So caring for the dying. Some experience prolonged and very painful deaths, okay, where they're really suffering during this transition. And then some experience unwanted, expensive, and very invasive healthcare to prolong their the dying experience, to keep them here. So family members usually provide the majority of the care for the dying, and healthcare professionals deal with death or dying on a regular basis. Okay. So what is bereavement? This is when the family members, this is what the family members experience when they lose their loved one. Okay. When they to death. So this is a natural process. This is a necessary process for a healthy individual to experience when you lose a loved one. And this is just really the grieving process that you go through. And there are a lot of different resources that you can go to help you during this process. And also many organizations, employers will allow a bereavement leave. Okay, time that you can take off to grieve for your loved one as well. Okay, so there's also counseling and support for family members who are in the bereavement process. When you do experience a death in your family and whatnot. This was the very end of the last lesson. Okay, lesson 15. It was not necessarily the happiest lesson, I'm sorry, but we are finished. So thank you guys. This has been a great class. I enjoyed the whole journey with you guys during quarantine time, and I really hope that you guys got something out of this class and you guys learned a lot. And If anyone has any kind of questions or anything like that, especially about the final exam and what's coming up, please let me know. Email me, comment, or anything like that. Bye.